Hello, everybody, and a warm welcome back to Revise Enterprise. On today's channel, what we're going to be doing is having a look at the GCSE Edexcel course for Business 9 to 1. And specifically today, we're going to focus on topic 1.3, and we're going to narrow it down to talking today about cash flow forecasts. So what I'd like to do today is help you with some content. So let's have a look, first of all, at the learning objectives for today's video. So what we want to know today is what a cash flow forecast is. We'd like to know the 5 key areas of a cash flow forecast and how each area is calculated. And finally, I'd like to explain the impact of negative cash flow on a business as well. So let's talk you through each of those steps now and see if we can give you some assistance in each area. So starting point, what is a cash flow forecast? Essentially, a cash flow forecast is a prediction. It's a prediction of money coming in and out of a business, usually within a specific period of time. So it could be, for example, 12 months. It is used to show when the firm may face a lack of cash, and the lack of cash could lead to the firm eventually failing, and it could go into insolvency unless it sells off its assets. Assets are anything that belongs to the business of value that they are able to sell off in order to create some cash. So, for example, any machinery they've got, or for example, vehicles that are actually owned within the business itself, they can sell off as assets. The firm can use the forecast to determine when it will need a short-term source of finance to cover its costs. Short-term sources of finance that are common for a business could either be trade credit, where they get an agreement with a supplier to pay within a specific period of time rather than on the actual day. So it could be, for example, paying the supplier back between 30 and 60 days. Or the other option is to get an overdraft facility as a short-term source of finance. Okay, so what are the 5 key areas of a cash flow forecast? If you know the key areas of a cash flow forecast, it should make you feel a little bit more confident with this area of the course. The first one is cash inflows. This is the money that is coming into the business. Cash outflows is the money that is going out of the business. Next area, we've got the net cash flow. This is the difference between the cash inflows and the cash outflows. Then we've got the fourth area of the cash flow forecast, which is the opening balance. This is the amount of cash that is actually within the business at the start of a month of trading. And then finally, the last part, or the last key part of a cash flow forecast, is the closing balance, which is the amount of cash in the business at the end of a month of trading. So if you're able to gauge those 5 key areas of the cash flow forecast, first of all, and you're able to briefly describe each one, that'll give you a really good positive starting point to this area of the course. Okay, so very briefly, how is each area of a cash flow forecast calculated? So these are the simple calculations you will need in order to advance on a cash flow forecast. So first one is net cash flow. To work that out, it is your cash out inflows minus your cash outflows. To calculate your opening balance on a cash flow forecast, it's your closing balance from the previous month. And then finally, to work out your closing balance, it's your net cash flow plus your opening balance. So if you can remember those 3 key formulas, you should be able to calculate in an exam situation some missing values in a cash flow forecast, no problem at all. Okay, what is the impact of negative cash flow on a business? Now we have a typical scenario in front of us here. The business is called Footy Fanzines Limited, and we have a cash flow forecast which is displaying information for 6 months of their trading cycle from April to September. Now, in June and July, when the football season is actually finished, you can see that one of the issues with this business is they have a negative net cash flow and a negative closing balance for June and July as well. You can tell they're negative because not only are they in red, the figures, but they are also in brackets as well, which indicates on a cash flow forecast a negative value. So in these 2 months here, what we can assume is they are struggling to generate income in terms of cash. So what they might want to consider in terms of a resolution for June and July is just taking out some kind of short-term finance. As we discussed earlier in the video, an overdraft facility would be brilliant, although it does come with some disadvantages in the sense that it does come with, you can get charged interest for it. Or they might want to consider maybe a longer-term source of finance, such as a bank loan, all right, to get them through the next few months or even the next couple of years financially. However, the rest of the trading months are when the football season is open, so April, May, August, and September. And you can see for those months, the net cash flow, the closing balance, seems to be a little bit more healthier. So what we'll do in the next video is we'll actually go through a cash flow forecast exam question together, and we'll help you guys fill in the blanks. But what we'll do today is we'll wrap up this video with going through the learning objectives again, so what we've achieved. So in this session today, we've talked to you about what a cash flow forecast is, which is great. We've talked to you about the 5 key areas of the cash flow forecast and how each area is calculated as well. I hope that was helpful for you, that bit. And then finally, what could be the impact of negative cash flow on a business? And of course, we've talked about a possible resolution as well in terms of short-term finance. Okay, thank you very much for watching today's video. I really appreciate all the support. Please give it a like and please give it a subscribe if this was helpful for you. And please check out the additional content on the channel if you're interested. And I'll very much look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're chilling with